everybody, it's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable day. I start every video like that because that's my true desire. I want people to be winning in life. It doesn't always happen, and it's never the case 100% of the time for anybody. There's always going to be times where you take an L or you get pushed back or you experience a setback. Don't ever let anybody sell you on the idea that everything runs smoothly for them. They never make bad decisions. They never go through difficult times. They never have hardships. That's BS. It's about developing. It's about growing. It's about being good. It's about intentions. What are your intentions for this world? What are your intentions when you deal with people? What are you trying to get accomplished? How hard are you going? How committed are you to those intents? That is what life is about. How intentional are you? And what are your intent? What is your intent for what you're doing in this world? If your intent is good, most of your work, most of your results, most of your outcomes over the long course of a long term is going to produce a testimony about your life that says, hey man, this person came to do the best they could. They got a pretty nice story to share with the world. And that's what you want to do. You want your legacy to be about what you were meant to be here, what your heart is speaking to you from the inside. Sometimes what you try to do doesn't come across the way you meant it to. Sometimes you get in over your head. Sometimes you find yourself being overwhelmed. But let me tell you something, find your place. I'm here because I want to make some clarifications. Last week I announced temporary suspension of programs from the Odyssey project, one including the Black Men Lead Rite of Passage Initiative, programs for domestic victims of domestic violence, and programs and resources and wraparound services for mental health and other things that we so pride ourselves in providing at a certain level. The primary reason for that suspension was absolutely no external support. We were operating off of me, and nothing's changed. I do want to thank Joe Aaron. He's been our first donation in God knows how long, probably a couple of weeks, and I'm not going to say how much he gave because it's not important in the sense of, it's not important. Let me make that clear. It's not important in the sense of trying to say why it's good he gave. I don't give different, levels of appreciation to numbers. So whatever a person gives is going to be appreciated by me. $1 contribution gets a thank you as much as $100. Now, obviously, $100 goes further, and I get excited about what larger contributions can do. My thing is, when you don't get support, just getting somebody that says, hey, I believe in you, is a vote of confidence in what you do. And that's as important to someone who's doing work as it is actually getting the resources to do it. It's the vote of confidence. I don't need anybody to validate who I am, but you want to know that the people that you're working for believe in what you're doing. It's going to be real hard to get it done. And those are the challenges, is that I believe the people who follow me believe in me. I don't believe you follow somebody for the amount of time that I have, had certain people on my page if you don't believe in them. I just believe that we are not conditioned or programmed to be, adamant supporters and in that way. So I think that is one of the problems we deal with, is we're just a different breed, and we need to really work on that. But so I suspended it. Well, it didn't take long for me to get that suspension lifted. I think it was suspended all of a day and a half, and I'm just over there biting my nails and losing my mind, because that tabling your baby is hard. My passion in work in the community, I have two passions. The work I do in helping people heal in my business, I'm passionate about that. I take it serious. It's more than just a money earner. It is my life. The work I do in the black community, because I am black first. And those two things I'm extremely passionate about. So when you're talking about taking something you've put 20 plus years into researching, developing, writing, programs that you literally are watching work, they're just not reaching enough people, and you got to sit up and say, man, that, will take a lot out of you. And I was sitting up, and the people who know me were contacting me. And for those of you who reached out to me and spoke to me and encouraged me, it didn't fall on deaf ears. What I had to do is I had to make up in my mind that some kind of way, somehow, as we have always, we will figure this out. But all I could think about were the people who we were catching would now be those falling through the cracks with the others, the ones we couldn't catch. And if I can catch one, to me, it's better than sitting back and catching none. It's frustrating because you catch one and you watch 100 fall. That can be disparaging. And so it's one of those things where you've got to sit up and realize this is a long haul. This is one of those things, you followed me for a while, you've heard me say this before. And that is, if we're really truly going to ever empower ourselves, we're going to need men who are willing to plant seeds they may not live long enough to see come to fruition. And I have now come to the conclusion that the seeds I'm planting, that this program I'm building, that this heart of mine that I have put into motion is probably going to be taken on by someone I pass the baton to, and they will fulfill it. And I'm okay with that. I have to be, or this would destroy me. I have to be okay with saying I lit the fuse. I introduced the paradigm. I introduced the blueprint, and I passed the baton. And I've got some young brothers who are ready to run with it. Jeremy, Deuce, you guys, man, you've been a breath of fresh air, because I know you're legitimate. I know, man, I know that you guys are serious about the work you do. These young cats are about that life, and they're very creative and a lot younger than me. Not babies by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely younger than me. And I had said that by the time I was 55, I wanted to step down off the front lines. I might have to be here a couple of more years, but I had already found at least 3 or 4 people that I can pass the baton to that are ready to run with it. So if I can create 5 people, and I think it's more, I actually think it's more, but these guys, Michael Jordan is another one, man. That's my ace. That dude there, between him and Michael Blanchard, man, those guys have kept me from just literally falling apart at times. It's good to hear black men talk about how strong we are, and I think I've been through enough and done enough to exhibit my strength. But if you think there are times that I almost broke, if you don't think there are times that I just wanted to fall down and fall apart, if you don't think there are times that my heart hasn't been broken by what I see in the community and in my own personal life, and I've had to wake up the next day and answer the bell, you're sadly mistaken. And these brothers, Michael Jordan, Michael Blanchard, have been right there to lift me, to encourage me, to challenge me. Michael Jordan, man, is a brother with an unbelievable heart, a no-nonsense guy, but he has a heart of gold. Michael Blanchard is that guy. He's not just going to whisper in your when I tell you that I funded this 99%, 98 to 99% of the funding for the 20 years that it's been going, this guy has got to be at least 0.5 of the rest. And if you understand what I'm saying, that's significant. He has been there. I mean, you're talking about an organization that hasn't raised $1,000 this year. And I'm still pushing, I'm still going. And the work we do, you know, I know people, but you know how I know people believe in what I do? Because I constantly got people coming to me for help. I've constantly got people being brought to me by people. And I get people, I don't just get, hey, let me go through this for you. Hey, kid, nice to meet you. Great kid. I get great kids, but I get kids that, man, watch your back. Don't turn your back. I also get grown people who get brought to me who take you up and down, in and out, because they got that stuff in them and they haven't dealt with it. They're dealing with trauma. They're dealing with everything. Everything is a win and a hustle. Everything. So they trying to get you. You trying to help them. They trying to get you. I get all of that. And I just keep going. And I'm going to keep going because I understand my people. I've done the work. I've written on it. I've told you about collective cognitive bias theory. I've told you about epigenetics and psychology. I've told you about implicit memory. I've told you about traumatic memory. I've told you about traumatic expression. I've told you about all the things that are behind a lot of what we're doing and we're not dealing with it. To end what I'm saying, because I'm at the gym and I need to get this workout in because I'm not done with what I need to do. But I have relaunched after about a 36-hour suspension of services, which actually nobody actually got turned away on, by the way. And what really solidified me reversing was 2 particular cases that landed on my desk almost back to back. The story of Asia Womack, young black basketball player out of Dallas who was paying a family friend, someone she knew, a male, beat him in basketball, and obviously there was a lot of noise talking, and he went home, got his gun, came back and shot her. And I want to make this clear. I want to make this very clear, because there's some people saying that, you know, I'm just trumpeting for black women and I'm saying screw the stuff that black men are going through. No, let me tell you something. If a black male would have been shot over a basketball game, I'd be sitting right here talking about the same thing, because it's absolutely unnecessary violence. That's absolutely senseless violence, that we are that emotionally unstable, that our egos are that fragile, that we can't take an L, because life is going to dish them out. I promise you that. 55 years on this planet, I took some. I've got some unbelievable wins because I was willing to take the L's, because I didn't let the L's cause me to explode, implode, fall apart, and harm somebody. You know, I've lost in relationships. Don't harm nobody. I decided to love harder. You gotta be at a place where you are emotionally mature enough, emotionally healthy, emotionally stable, have a sense of emotional intelligence and emotional awareness, be able to sense things and feel things, but then be able to step back and stabilize an emotion so that you can use your reasoning, your rationale, and your wisdom to move you through the things that are triggering your emotions. That's so important. That's a part of socialization, which is a part of the Black Men Lead Rite of Passage Initiative. We got too many young black males that aren't being socialized, aren't being prepared, aren't being stabilized, aren't being introduced to themselves, to their responsibilities, to their purpose, to their value, to their worth, to the code of conduct and honor. At the top of the list, we do not bring harm to women, especially black women. We hold them in the highest regard, and even when they're not carrying themselves in a way that we feel is respectful, we step back away from them. We do not disrespect them. We carry ourselves with a level of character that says, I behave based on who I am, not on how you're behaving. There's got to be a level of manhood that can stand up and lead, because if you're always coming down to what's around you, you will always be a part of it, and you will never be able to be a part of the solution. The only way that you become a part of the solution is you got to hold yourself to a higher standard than the stuff you're seeing around you. And that means you can't run around talking about it's not fair, why they get to do this, why they get to do. That's not how you got to sit up and hold yourself to a standard. There's got to be something about you that says, I'm a man, and a man behaves as this, like this. We do this. It doesn't matter what they're doing, it matters what we're doing. Now, it may mean I can't hang around you if you're acting like that, male or female. It may mean that we can't kick it when you're doing stupid stuff like that, male or female. But what it does mean is I'm not gonna let you doing that make me do something that reduces who I am. But see, that's gotta be instilled in them, that's gotta be inculcated into their psyche. And so what we're doing is we're pushing back. We are coming back. We're going to stand as strong as we've stood. We're going to demand community involvement, whether we get it or not. We're not letting anybody off the hook because everybody's feeling this. Everybody, that's a young woman right now whose daughter's dead because she beat a guy in basketball. That's not the only one. Then that's Tamara Sawyer. This stuff happened in Texas. That was Dallas and Houston. We lost a young lady because her high school boyfriend couldn't let go. He couldn't handle rejection. That's a problem. That's something we see far too often. When it's over, we don't know. I'm telling you, as someone who's had to go through this, look, I don't care how much it hurts. You don't own anybody. No matter how much you feel you've done, whatever it is you feel you've done, no matter how wrong you feel. And a lot of times, they got every right in the book to jet. Y'all cutting the hell up. And then get mad when somebody vote. And then even if you one of those good guys, you gave yourself, you loved, you did whatever it is you think you did and feel like you did. That person is a person in and of themselves. And I was talking to someone who I admire a lot, and I was telling them that, you know, one of the challenges that they've had is that they grow at such a rapid pace, they consistently outgrow people. And what you gotta understand, you can start in the same place with someone. And if you're growing at a much rapid pace, your separation from them is going to be pretty quick, and then you're not going to have the same thing in common. You're not going to have the same drive. You're not going to be headed in the same direction. You're not going to think alike, and it's going to be very difficult to maintain and sustain those relationships. You got to catch someone when you're starting out and you want something the same amount. You want it as intensely as the other person. You're headed in the same direction, and you're committed to being those odd moments where you are not on the same page. That's a part of it. Most of us don't have the understanding of commitment. We don't know how not to be on the same page. We don't know how to work our way back to each other. We don't know how to build something that we want. We want it, and if it doesn't look the way we want to go out and find it somewhere else, and we keep finding out that no matter where we find and what we find, it's not what we thought it was, and then we throw it down, and at some point in time, you got to learn, you're going to have to stop and build. It's not what you find, it's what you build. It's not what you discover, it's what you build. Whatever you want in life, the things that are going to last the longest are the things you build. But we got to teach our young males, build it. And then if somebody doesn't want to build with you, you can't make them build with you. You give them the love you have, you send them on their way, and you thank God for the time you had. You relish the good moments, you learn from the bad moments, and you keep moving. You've got to have an understanding of that. But the one thing I refuse to carry with me in any form is hatred and harboring anger. You're talking to a person who's having an extremely quick temper, refuses to harbor anger now. Why? That shit will kill you, literally, or get you killed, literally, and destroy you figuratively. I'm not finna do it. I don't care how much I love you. I'm not finna let you cause me to destroy me. No. But we have to teach that to young boys. I had to grow up in that. Luckily I had a grandfather who was a man's man. He did the stuff that was supposed to be. So I can look back and see, okay, he did this. This is what I got to grow in. He was able to do this. This is what I need to grow in. He left me when I was 25. I wasn't finished yet. I had so much more I wanted to lean into, but he left me. That's what happens when you have situations where men are stepping in and great grandfathers and grandfathers have to step in. You lose them before you truly grow into who all you are, because they're filling in for someone that should have been there, that were closer in age, that you would probably be in your 50s or 60s before you even thought about losing them. You're losing them in your teens and your 20s, and you're expecting to be full grown and developed and everything you need to be, and you're wondering why you keep tearing up shit. It's because you haven't became whole, and that's this 1.5 million men missing, and we're trying to find ways to fill it. That is what makes black men lead so valuable, is because it has the capacity to fill the gap. It has the capacity to make a correction, to make a shift. But we're going to have to stand up and fight. We're going to have to be willing to love on one another at a level that we haven't proven we're capable of doing yet. But I'm challenging everyone. Look at the link in the description box. Look at the link in the post box. Go to that page. Learn more. Donate. Don't just go to the page. Donate. 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 Flip side of this, if If you know somebody in need of services, even if it's not a service that I have mentioned, we provide wraparound services, and we will outsource whatever we have to get people taken care of. The idea is to meet a need. People need to have someplace they know they can go. We represent that. We will continue to represent that. So as much as I'm asking people to help and support us, I'm also telling the people who need help to come to us. Look, I'm gonna get out of here. I really hope that this message resonates. I hope that you share it. I hope that you give. I hope that it's revisited. We've got work to do. On that note, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. And you guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.